Have you ever wanted to connect with a woman on a deeper, more intimate level, but didn't know how to approach the situation? What if I told you there's a way to request intimacy that's not only effective, but also aligns with the timeless principles of Stoicism? Today, we're diving deep into a psychological trick that will not only change how you approach intimacy, but also make you more self-assured, grounded, and in control of your emotions. Imagine this: you're sitting across from the woman you've been seeing for a while. You feel a strong connection and are ready to take things to the next level, but instead of feeling confident, you're anxious, worried about how to approach the subject. What if she says no? What if she pulls away? Here's the thing: those are the wrong questions. The real question is, how can you use the principles of Stoicism to shift the power dynamic, making her not only comfortable with intimacy but desiring it as much as you do? Stay with me for the next few minutes, and by the end of this video, you'll have the tools you need to request intimacy in a way that's respectful, psychologically savvy, and deeply rooted in Stoic philosophy. This isn't your average dating advice. This is about mastering the art of emotional and psychological connection in a way most men overlook. Let's get started. The psychological trick: understanding what you can control in relationships, the power of vulnerability and strength. Now, let's get into the psychological trick itself: balancing vulnerability with strength. This might sound contradictory, but it's actually a powerful dynamic that, when done correctly, creates a magnetic pull. Vulnerability is often misunderstood. Many people equate vulnerability with weakness or oversharing, but in reality, vulnerability is about authenticity. It's about being open and honest about your feelings and intentions without being needy or desperate. In the context of Stoicism, vulnerability is about showing your true self while maintaining control over your emotions. When you express your desire for intimacy, do so with calmness and clarity. For example, you might say, "I've really enjoyed the time we've spent together, and I feel a strong connection with you. I'd like to take things to a more intimate level because I believe it could deepen our relationship." This statement is powerful for several reasons. First, it's direct and unambiguous. You're not beating around the bush or playing games, you're stating your intentions clearly. Second, it's respectful. You're not demanding intimacy or making her feel pressured, you're inviting her to consider it. Third, it's grounded in your belief that intimacy will enhance the relationship, not just fulfill your desires. But why is this balance of vulnerability and strength so effective? It works because it taps into a deep psychological need. We all have the need for connection. When you show vulnerability, you signal that you're open to forming a deeper connection. When you pair that vulnerability with strength, you demonstrate that you're not seeking connection out of desperation or neediness, but from a place of confidence and self-assurance. This dynamic is incredibly attractive because it creates a sense of safety and trust. Women are more likely to respond positively to intimacy when they feel secure in the relationship, knowing that the man they are with is both emotionally available and emotionally stable. The Stoic art of patience, letting her set the pace. One of the most powerful aspects of Stoicism is patience. In today's fast-paced world, patience is a rare virtue, but it's incredibly attractive. When requesting intimacy, it's crucial to let the woman set the pace. This doesn't mean you become passive, rather, you remain engaged, present, and responsive to her cues. Patience in Stoicism is not about waiting idly, it's about being actively patient, engaging in the process, observing and understanding the situation without forcing it. When it comes to intimacy, patience means recognizing that everyone has their own timeline and comfort level, and that rushing the process can create unnecessary tension and anxiety. After expressing your desire for intimacy, the next step is to give her space to process and respond. The silence that may follow might feel uncomfortable, but it's essential. This silence is where the magic happens. It's a space where she can reflect on her feelings, her desires, and her comfort level. It's in this silence that she can make a decision that feels right for her without feeling pressured or rushed. During this moment, maintain eye contact, stay relaxed, and keep your body language open. Your posture should convey that you're confident and patient, that you're not in a rush to move things forward, but are open to whatever pace feels right for her. This approach not only shows respect but also creates a safe environment for her to express her feelings. This kind of patience is incredibly powerful because it signals to her that you're not just interested in physical intimacy, but in building a connection that's based on mutual respect and understanding. It shows that you value her feelings and boundaries, and that you're willing to wait for the right time rather than forcing something before she's ready. Moreover, patience is a sign of emotional maturity. It demonstrates that you're in control of your desires rather than letting them control you. This level of emotional maturity is rare and attractive, as it shows that you're not only capable of handling intimacy, but also the emotional complexities that come with it. The subtle art of suggestion: planting the seed. Here's where the real psychological trick comes into play. Instead of directly asking for intimacy, consider planting a suggestion that encourages her to think about it on her own terms. This technique taps into the power of suggestion, a subtle but effective psychological tool. The power of suggestion is well documented in psychology. It works because it allows the person receiving the suggestion to internalize the idea and make it their own. When you plant a suggestion, you're not imposing your desires on her. You're inviting her to explore the idea in her own mind at her own pace. You might say something like, "I think being closer to you would feel really natural for us. Don't you?" This statement isn't a direct request, but rather a gentle nudge, allowing her to envision the intimacy you're referring to. It's less about convincing and more about inviting her to explore the idea on her own. This approach works because it respects her autonomy and subtly encourages her to see intimacy as a mutual, organic progression, rather than something that's being imposed on her. By planting the seed of intimacy in her mind, you allow her to take ownership of the idea, making her more likely to embrace it. But the art of suggestion doesn't stop at planting the seed, it's also about how you nurture it. After making the suggestion, continue to build emotional and physical closeness in subtle ways. For example, you might increase the amount of affectionate touch, like holding her hand or giving her a hug. These small gestures can help create a sense of closeness and comfort, making the idea of intimacy feel more natural and desirable. At the same time, be mindful of her responses. If she seems receptive, continue to build on that momentum. If she seems hesitant, give her more time and space. The key is to remain patient and observant, allowing the idea of intimacy to grow organically rather than forcing it.